Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Experience Points Podcast. Tonight, you will be having the proud honor of having the hosts of me, Blackout. What's up, people? And Kevin, aka
Hey.
Alistair, aka you ain't getting nothing else because so zero sin is in here.
Fair enough.
And this is episode 8, the half year in review episode. Oh, yeah. We'll be talking about our favorite games that we played in the first half of this year, which is going to be kind of low without our third host being here. But we won't go on to that just yet. We might be moving into that pretty soon. But anyways, yes, and then of course, this week's news. Let's first talk about the new Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles features. Kevin?
I watched the new trailer, and it's kind of cool that they're going to offer the ability to play 3 levels without actually buying the game. And I think it's like it adds 9 more levels on there if somebody owns the game and invites you into it. So you still have the limitations, but at least you can get kind of a feel for it or a taste of the game before you buy it if you want to.
Yeah, I was wondering about that when they were saying it. Like, because I was a little confused at first because it's like, I understand, so are they saying that you can get a free version of the game, but it's like...
Yeah, it's the light version, as they call it, but I think it's only like three levels that you can play on. So it's not very in depth. It just gives you kind of like a small taste of what the gameplay is going to be like, and it looks like it's going to be on smart devices too.
Yeah, I've heard them mention that where they were talking on the cross-platform. They were talking about on your phone, and then of course the trailer was some PS4, but I know it's going to be out on the Switch as well. So I'm hoping they don't
cross-platform for all of them.
Okay, I'm just making sure of that like they might try something funny. But yeah, so basically the light version is almost basically like a demo that you can kind of just keep your data, like if you want to upgrade it to the full version, kind of like what they do with some of the other games they've been making lately.
I'm thinking. I probably will buy it, but I'll probably go with the Sulky Race.
I haven't decided.
Quick dagger action going on.
I really haven't decided. I'm just not being that Lala Espresso. That's what I'm not gonna be. I don't want to
be the tall giraffe one that uses magic.
Why they gotta? That's a stereotypical elf right there. That's a Final Fantasy 11 elf. Yeah,
you can't see what their faces look like. Every time I see them, they have like a helmet on, so you can't really see what they look like.
Yeah,
I don't even know if they have elf ears or anything.
And then the other thing I'm wondering, because I know how they said you can invite people to your game, so is it really going to be like a one-player game that you can just bring in your friends to play co-op with your characters, or will it like
I think so. I think it's going to have a solo, like a main scenario type situation going on. I don't know if it's going to have to where people can just jump in at random if they want to. But it's probably going to work that way, where the host person it's going to go based off of their storyline, so it might not even affect the other person's game.
Yeah, see, that's what I was wondering, because it's like, I think it'd be cool if you could have like, because they say you can make your own character, so I was hoping like, you make your own type of character, and then like, whether you're on your game or the other game, you level up and then you like keep all those stats or not, but I'm wondering if it's just going to be like...
Keeping the stats probably will be, but I'm not sure if it'll keep the storyline.
I guess that's okay.
It might continue off from where you left off, but it might retain it also. But if I remember the game correctly, a lot of it, like the levels, it all just based around getting that the crystal. You have like a piece of the crystal or a dew or something. You have an item that you have to carry around. I think it's like a cup, and so it really works to have all 4 people with you, because one person can focus on carrying the cup around, because it puts like a dome, like a circle around you, and if you exit that area, then you start taking damage from the miasma.
Wow, that's crazy. But I saw it in the trailer that they were showing, so that's how that works. And it's not even that big of a dome. That's a pretty small dome.
Yeah. So you gotta really like, play to your strengths on that. Like maybe have a tank type character holding it, or maybe have 2 tank characters or something. It's just
That's
gotta be a little tactical about it.
Yeah, I see. So there's more to it than just what I thought. I was kind of expecting it to be kind of like a watered down Secret of Mana with 4 players.
Oh no, it's way different than Secret of Mana.
That's good. So what else? I'm trying to think what else that they have about it. They showcase all the different races, but was that new or is it really just the same thing?
They're the same races. They're very similar. A lot of them are very similar. I mean, they were different but similar to because it came around time Final Fantasy 11 came out.
Yeah.
So as soon as I saw the short one, I automatically thought Taru.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And what
that was
about?
my thing.
And I think they were mentioning how like the customization was that in the original game, or is that something new for the remake?
I don't remember how much customization you got with your characters on there, because I never really had many people to play it with, so I didn't really get very far on that game. And it's been so long that I can't remember like if you had like a set look that you can get, or if this is like all brand new stuff added, basically.
Yeah,
it does look interesting though, because I guess you get like 40 different character faces or whatnot, so you can get a really good design going for yourself.
Yeah, that's cool. Although I just find it weird if you just start, because I know they also said you can like get NPC customizations later on too. Like,
I think they're just talking about like gear.
Okay.
Clothing looks like glamours, I guess you can call them.
Okay. Well, that's not too bad then. Like I just want to see nobody having like a clone face, like, oh, you're the princess or something from so and so land. Oh, but now you're here. I hate when you do that.
Yeah, there's like some hairstyles in Final Fantasy 14 that I definitely will never pick, just because they're known to be popular with like NPC characters, like Thancred's cut.
Yeah,
I'll never use that, no matter how much Kim likes it.
The Thancred one's okay, but yeah, I know what you mean.
It's okay,
but
it's just be too easy to look like, oh, you're a Thancred clone.
I will never use the Ayashi hair. Never. Never. Hate that dude. Like, it is like, even if it doesn't look like a bad hair, I know where it came from. I'm not using that hair ever. Nope.
Yeah. I think going on, Animal Crossing update's coming up this Friday.
Oh yeah.
Just, let everybody know we're doing a beach party, so look forward to that. With the diving, that's going to be cool to add. I'm wondering if it's going to expand the aquarium, or if it's just going to add them to existing areas that are in there. It'd be kind of cool to see it expand.
I was wondering how they would do that too. Yeah, Kim will love that.
Yeah, and adding Pascal to it. I mean, he's been in there in the past games, because this isn't the first time that you've had diving, but I'm not sure if it's going to be the same or if it's going to be a little bit more in depth. I'm pretty sure the 3DS version had diving in it.
I mean, they could do a lot more with this. I mean, it's kind of cool too, because Animal Crossing, for how much it has to do, it doesn't have that much to do at the same time. So being able to dive is like really cool.
It'd be kind of cool if you can go into like the river and lakes and stuff on the inner part of the island, but I'm pretty sure it's only going to be in the ocean.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. But it would be nice, because then you could really like do you'll see a lot of interesting terraforming if you could do something like that. Maybe make it like a canal going all the way around an island or something like that.
I can guarantee they won't even get into that, just because you can't do anything on the sand.
Yeah, that's annoying.
I mean, there is that one spot that opens up, but if you can't add dirt onto that to go into the ocean, I don't think it'll let you do anything. Which kind of sucks. It would have been really nice to be able to add more to it, but then they would have to do something to transform, sand into ground from the beach.
Yeah, maybe down the line they'll do something. I really wish they let you have more options with the actual sand part. I guess they're trying to have certain boundaries because people might break the game if they can do something on the sand. But if
Man, I
they
just
work,
want the 4th tier.
yeah, that'd be nice too.
Or I should say, I want to be able to go on top of the 4th tier. I think you might be able to. I think you might be able to get. Well, because you can make a 4th tier on the levels of ground,
But
so
you
you
can't
know
climb up it.
yeah, because it's too dangerous. But I
It's
think
too
you might be able.
dangerous.
I think if you were to put enough of them together, you might be able to get like a waterfall going, but you wouldn't be able to get like. It would look dumb because you'd be like, well, where's the water coming from?
Yeah, it's just like it's coming out of the mountain, but there is not actually no like base at the top because you can't get up there.
Yeah. So. Unless it was like underground water. I don't know. I mean, you could probably make it look nice if it worked, but.
Underground water on a 4th tier part, yeah, that'll make a lot of sense.
Well, no, like, because have you ever built a waterfall on the edge of a cliff without having water lead into that waterfall?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, it looks like it's coming. It looks like it's coming out from underneath the ground, so it'd be like underground water, like there's a cavern underneath there or something, and the water's coming out.
Yeah. Something that I swear I've probably seen in Final Fantasy IV.
Probably. Like, I mean, it doesn't look like it would be an aesthetic thing to do, and I refuse to add that 4th tier if I can't go on top and add stuff or plant things or put my house if I wanted to. It's just taking up space in that point.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. Because I was when I first unlocked Terraform, I was like, ooh, so can I make like another area up here? Like, yeah, I built it, but then it's like, it's too dangerous. No, it's not.
It won't even let you build a ramp. I tried that. It's all nothing. But yeah, I think like I said, the diving will be cool. It'll open up a little feature that adds that Pascal NPC, so something else for you to go hunting for somebody. It's basically going to be similar to Gulliver and the Ghost. It looks like he'll probably he'll say he dropped his shell or something, and then you have to go and dive and find it, and you'll probably get like some furniture for it.
Or
and it looks like Gulliver's getting a makeover.
Oh yeah, he looks red or pink or whatever that was.
He's dressed up as a pirate captain. It looked like.
Man, I guess that's what that was. Speaking of which, I hate Gulliver. I mean, at first I thought he was funny, but then, it gets so sick of hearing his damn drunken talk. I know they don't want to. I know they don't want to dignify him actually being drunk, but we know that man is drunk.
Yeah, clumsy. Really clumsy.
Drunk and clumsy. It's like literally as soon as he gets rescued, he jumps right back into the water.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just so funny how he always ends up at our islands. Well, who knows? He might actually end up at other islands too.
So I guess that would lead into our half year in review portion of this and what our favorite games are.
Hey, this is gonna be my part to announce. But fine.
No, then announce it.
I was getting to it. But anyways, yes, this is the half year in the review episode. So, Kevin, what were some of your favorite games? I'm pretty sure we've only played the exact same games this year that were you, but what were some of your favorite games so far of 2020?
Shoot, I mean, Animal Crossing is up there. Just having fun with that. Final Fantasy VII Remake, awesome game. I actually finished it. I was happy. Though I did get a few games for the Switch throughout the year. I mean, I got the Mega Man Zero collection.
Nice.
And
I got that too.
I played that a little bit, but I don't know. It kind of didn't translate well from the 3DS to the Switch for me. Just because if you remember the 3DS versions, they had like the map on the bottom screen, and so they give you that option on there, and so it's like a heads-up display basically. And I don't know, it just seems it doesn't, like they could have, it would have been better just to have made it so you push a button and brought the map up instead of it being on there the whole time, because it's just a waste. I kind of feel.
I see what, and yeah, because on the 3DS it was dual screen, so it didn't really matter. But on the big screen, it's just like ugh.
Yeah, and then I got Trials of Mana, and that game is really fun. I mean, I haven't finished it yet. I'd probably say about 35% through the game so far. It's just like Final Fantasy came out, so I just kind of jumped ship on that.
Well, actually, Final Fantasy came out before Trials of Mana. Just saying.
Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah,
remake?
Final Fantasy 7 remake came out before Trials of Mana. They both came out in April, but I'm pretty sure Trials of Mana came out first.
Yeah, you're right. What came out then? Oh, I think I started playing Black Desert. I don't know. It was I was really focusing on Final Fantasy 7 remake and getting through that. So that's why I mean, like I said, Trials of Mana is really good. It's kind of short though, from what I've been told.
Is it shorter than the original version?
No. Actually, it's about the same. But I never beat the original version, mind you.
Oh.
I'm probably a little bit further on the original version that they released on the Switch.
Yeah, because I know you were having a conversation and talking about it. I know I've seen you playing that version, so I thought you actually beat it before you went and played the remake, but I guess you're like, no, I'm just going to go on and get the remake now.
Well, yeah, just because the original version, the Super Nintendo version, is it's fun, but there's a lot of quality of life fixes that they did for the remake that make it way better. One of those is the menu screen for the original that they have, it's very laggy, and you can't blame it on it being like a port over from the Super Nintendo to the Switch, because I heard reports that people that played it on the original Super Nintendo on cartridge and everything, the way it was still laggy.
Yeah.
So
I did play a little of it, so
really
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I didn't get too far. I just played through the intros of a couple of characters to just see how it feels.
I mean, you'd probably like the game. It's pretty fun.
Oh no, I love the remake. I mean, the remake, the remaster, whatever. I can't remember right now. The remake, yes. I love the remake. I played the demo of it. I played the crap out of it. I think I played
the
through
voice
it.
acting is cringy.
Okay, I agree. It was pretty bad. Especially Charlotte.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. They could have made her talk like that, but I think the text is even like that, and that's makes it even worse.
It was horrible. Because I picked, just because it was funny, and I picked all the female characters. What's her name? The witch girl. She's all right, even though she sounds like a Valley girl. And then you got the Valkyrie girl, who's I guess probably the best voice out of the three.
Yeah. So if you end up getting the game, your best bet is to play to have your party have at least. So Angela, the wizard, the sorceress, she pairs up with Duran, the knight. Kevin is a werewolf, and he actually does transform at night. He's a hand-to-hand, but he's paired up with Charlotte, and then Hawkeye and Reese are paired up.
So there are combinations. Is that like how you can get subclasses or whatever?
Full story. You get more story options when you have a pair in your party.
I see. So basically, it's a girl and a guy. Is it top and bottom, in the or next to each other on the character select? I'll probably remember anyway. So you said the night.
When you create your characters, they are next to each other. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But it's really obvious because each one has one character is part of a kingdom or an area that's invading the other one's stuff.
I did notice
the other one. So Hawkeye's kingdom or his thieves hideout place or whatever, they want to move on and upgrade to a kingdom, basically. So they attacked Reese's kingdom, and then Kevin, the werewolf, the werewolf clans are attacking humans, and they go after where Charlotte is. And
that one
whatnot.
I actually remember because they showed Kevin like because when I played the demo, they showed Kevin like in an area or
in the item. Yeah, he's in the item shop, I believe. He says, "I'm one of them, but I'm not with them."
yeah.
His speech is very Gal-like from Final Fantasy VI, if you recall. The
Oh,
way
I
he talks.
remember.
Yeah. But Kevin is half human, half werewolf, basically, or half man, or whatever. When I played it originally as on the ROM, back in the days of fan translations.
Good old heyday.
I played as Kevin, Hawkeye, and I think Angela. I can't remember exactly who my third was, but I got decently far into it, enough to where I can remember some of the story. But again, I played ROMs back then. They were like not stable sometimes.
Oh, I know.
Like,
yeah, they just crash, or they would like stop working at a certain point, or they just
or your
lose
save
the
file is corrupt. You just get a corrupt, like your save file is corrupt, and you just lose everything. And you're like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
So
that's a good game.
I guess you can kind of consider Pokemon since the DLC came out.
Oh yeah, I do, because I was literally like, I played 2 games in a DLC.
I know. I got Kim Pokemon Mystery Dungeon remake, and she played it a little bit and didn't really go any further than that. And I've never really been a Mystery Dungeon.
I am definitely
I like
not
the
a
concept. I like the concept, and I've played it, but I kind of like the Shirin Mystery. I think it's Shirin. It's a samurai character, and they have a Mystery Dungeon.
I probably like it more
that
than that,
series.
yeah.
But I like the Mystery Dungeon concept, but I didn't really get into the Pokemon concept of it.
Yeah, I feel like it. But with that being said, like, I am enjoying the Isle of Armor, definitely. Although, I'm almost done with my Pokédex. Like, I've gotten everything, but like, there's one particular breed of Pokemon that's only on Shield, and I don't have that yet. And then I gotta do some trades with Porygon 2 and then Porygon Z, and then I gotta trade the Cantonian Slowpoke to get a Slowking.
A regular Slowpoke, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, a regular Cantonian Slowpoke to get a Slowking.
I have not worked on my Pokedex on there, actually. I was more focused on getting the extra Cubfu.
Oh, I haven't even done that yet.
Yeah, so I made another profile, and I kind of felt bad because I got the first save file. I got up to the part right where you get Cubfu, and then I transferred Cubfu, but I felt bad for my other Pokemon, and I transferred them into the Pokemon Home also.
Oh, what a hero!
Their trainer, their technical trainer, the trainer was still me, but different trainer ID. So technically, that trainer's gone forever.
Nothing. He got killed in a freak accident. So did you go through it again to get the I'm
currently on a new one right now. I just got Cubfu, and so I have to go back into the main game and go through the storyline because you need the bike on water to get Cubfu its Gigantamax form.
Wait, what? Oh, you mean to go over there? I mean, but
Yeah.
you can still evolve it before you do that.
Yeah, that's true, but I would have to probably send it back to my main game because I don't have the rare candies and such on this one to get it up to level 70.
There's no problem with that. But anyway, like, yeah, I mean, I think that the areas in this Isle of Armor are really nice. Like, I like how, even though it's like way smaller than the main game, just due to how it's all a wild area, and like the regular areas, they like make them so large, but at the same time the areas aren't even that big, so it just feels like a lot of the area in the main game is wasted. It just feels like there's so much to explore and to find in that game, and I only found like 51 of the 150 Diglett so far. I know you found them all already. That was like your first goal when you got there. But I've been hunting down Pokemon mainly, so like and my living dex for the Isle of Armor is almost complete for that matter. Like I literally just have to I have to breed some Squirtles, get Wartortle and Blastoise onto my Pokédex, even though I have some I think in Pokemon Home, but I want to actually breed them properly. And then I have to, like I told you, I got to do a couple of trade Pokemon, and then I got to get the stupid ones from Shield, like this Scalpa or what? It's some kind of a water Pokemon, I think. I can't remember what it's called right now.
Describe it. I'll probably tell you what it is.
I don't remember, but hold on, I'll tell you in a second because I had it up on the page so I remember the name. It was weird looking fish thing. Where you at, name? Number 690. Oh, Skrill.
Skrill. Yeah, you gotta trade that. I think you gotta trade that to evolve it.
Oh, really? Why they gotta be? Not only do I not have it, but now I gotta do some extra work to evolve it. I'm half considering just getting the freaking Isle of Armor on Shield already and just being done with it. Let me see.
It evolves in Dragog. It starts at level 48.
No, this is a regular evolution.
Yeah.
So that isn't too bad. Even though it looks like a weird looking thing.
I call it the Kalos Horsey.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it kind of looks like a seahorse, but it's like poison water type, and then I think it evolves into poison dragon. Yep.
And then the other one, which is sword exclusive, is some weird looking fish. And of course, because I had Pokemon X, which is the same, like these are like, you know, the trade partners of it. Of course, I have X, which is the same thing as in Sword, so I'm still screwed either way you look at it. But you know, like I said, I'm thinking about just getting the Isle of Armor on my Shield character and just calling it a day. I could trade, but
I kind of think it sucks that they actually said it like that, because they could have made it as one purchase, and if you had both the games that it would just carry over. But they had to make it like $60 extra if you have both versions and want both versions of it.
So basically, you're spending $180, yes, which I think is kind of a little thirsty. I was kind of irritated at that in the first place. I was always originally planning on getting Shield, but I didn't know if I wanted to get the Isle of Armor or the DLC passes. But I have a feeling that it's going to be more worthwhile from when the Crown Tundra comes out, because I feel there's going to be legendaries like, you know, some of the Regis that are only going to be exclusive to Sword and then Shield. So
definitely. I definitely think that the new Regis are going to be exclusive to each version.
So it'll be more worthwhile to do it for that one. But like I said, because literally, like I said, there's only basically 2 Pokemon that you can't get from the that one version to the other one. If you've already collected, I should say, if you've already finished your Pokédex from the base game, because I'm sure there are other ones that are only, you know, exclusive to Sword and Shield. If you already got those, and yeah, there's only those 2 Pokemon, and it's basically one Pokemon because then you can evolve it and breed it and do all else you want to.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed at the Urshifu. You couldn't get like another Kubfu and take it to the other tower if you wanted to. It was just kind of locked out. You can't. It would have been kind of cool to have like an added story element to that.
I agree, and I wonder, like, is there different music in the the Tower of Darkness? Because I know, like, even if you like do a competitive match online, or let's like, you know, go to the battle tower or whatever, it says like one of the musics you can choose is the Tower of Water, since that's where I chose. But the Tower of Darkness doesn't have any choice, so I'm wondering, is it really just the same music, but you get depending on what game you pick, you know, which tower you picked, or is it actually going to be different? And yeah, it would have been nice if you could go through both towers. Like, you know, in other games, you could get like, you'd have to even trade just to get all legendaries, but then you could like evolve them or whatever that way. So can you evolve? I'm not saying I would, but can you evolve a second Cubfu into like the Urshifu of that type that you already have if you wanted to? Because I know you can still enter the water tower and look at the scroll.
It's possible. I mean, you could always try, because I think you have to actually say you want to. I mean, if it lets you, if it lets you like talk to it or interact with it, then it probably is safe to say that you can use it.
Yeah, I'll probably check that out when I actually start getting my extra Cub foods and stuff. But for the moment, either way, like I said, the game is pretty good, but I do feel that the Isle of Armor is kind of lacking some, like, you know, once you've gone through the base story, there really isn't too much else you can do, although there is this other thing where you spend like a zillion watts to get upgrades in your
It's like
dojo.
3 million altogether, I think.
Is it 3 mil? Oh, okay. I'm only like, I'm not even at the 1 million one yet. Oh my goodness!
I got the 400,000 where you get the vitamin vending machine.
The vitamins are great. That's actually a good one. After that, it gets horrible.
After that, it's I think it's a card background.
Yeah, you get the card background. Then you get Honey's Pokemon League card, which is terrible.
You can also get a battle. You get a chance to battle with her also.
Wait! That's the legendary trainer that I have to spend 1,000,000 watts to fight. Why do I have to pay her? Why do I have to pay her watts to battle her?
Because she becomes a daily battle basically.
I'm thinking they're gonna call in Red from freaking Pokemon G1.
No,
awesome.
She tries to do that. It says on there that I tried to call up all the champions from the past, but they said that the Galarian region is too far.
Wow, they didn't want to come to try to beat the unbeatable champion that isn't unbeatable anymore. Well, okay. So, I will say, I guess I should have saw it coming because she a long time ago made that hint about she's gonna make the Pokemon that you didn't choose. She said, "Don't worry, I'll level you to make sure you won't lose to the other one." And of course, I picked Squirtle, so she's got Bulbasaur, so she would definitely have an advantage in that particular situation. But still, that's kind of
just gotta teach Squirtle an Ice type move.
Either way, though, I feel that that's a ripoff.
I picked Bulbasaur, so
yeah, I picked Squirtle, but it's okay. I've already got I got a G-Max Cinderace, because that's what I use my Max Soup on. Did you use it on? I have to actually farm some more Max Mushrooms because, like, I was like, I want to try out the Gigantamax, and since Cinderace is one of my favorite Pokemon, I was like, yeah, I want to get it, but I'm kind of underwhelmed of its ability. I mean, like, yeah, it gives you a harder hitting attack, and the animation's different, but the G-Max design is so, and honestly, I'd rather have the Max Flame, Max Flare, set up the Sunny Day or Drought, whatever you want to call it, compared to it just being more base damage, because then you lose out on damage for it not being, the weather in the long run. So unless you have something to set the weather for you, you're not getting the full extent of it. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't typically. Sorry. I don't typically use a lot of those moves that change the weather and stuff, just because I try to focus on attacks that go off, like, so I'll add, like, on a psychic type, I'll give them like ghost type attacks here and there, just so they can, something that can make them all around.
Oh yeah, you definitely gotta have that kind of thing. Like, no, I mean, like, I won't use moves like Sunny Day, but like if you use fire attack while you're Dynamax, it'll turn it into a weather. So that's an okay version of doing it. Like, or like certain Pokemon like Torkoal that has Drought, so it'll just automatically make Sunny Day when it pops out. Like, I don't mind doing it that way, but I will never actually waste a move slot on something like Sunny Day or Downpour or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Because that's a waste. Yeah, I think we probably talked enough about Pokemon. So, and our other game, Final Fantasy 7 Remake. We've already talked so much about that. It's a great game, so there really isn't too much else to say about it. I just need to finish my platinum. I just haven't actually played it too much since I beat the game, and then I've been like going back to playing more Animal Crossing. So Animal Crossing is definitely an addicting game in its own right. Like it has a lot of replayability. Like there's always something added. So, but yeah.
It does. I actually did not play. I haven't played it since I did my island tour with Zero Sun.
That was like Monday though.
Yeah, I haven't been playing it too much though. Like I missed the bug tournament that they just had.
You didn't miss anything. I'd never overly do those tournaments. Like I did enough to get 2 prizes, and I got a umbrella that looks like it has a freaking, what's that one? I can't remember. It looks like a ladybug umbrella. And then I got some kind of a weird looking like sculpture thing of like, it ain't nothing special. Although I did enjoy it more than the fishing one, but still, yeah. But anyways, I guess we probably better move on to our next segment because we've definitely talked for a lot about Pokemon.
This week in gaming news. So first off, we got here, Quake was released on this day on
gaming
24th gaming history. Yeah, isn't that what I said?
You said gaming news. It's okay.
My bad. I'm sorry, everyone. So on this day, Quake released first time in North America 24 years ago, 1996. And I remember playing. Some of the seniors in high school, they had set up some of the computers in the library to
that was great.
To connect with Quake and have and they would just have like little marathons going on between the computers, unbeknownst to the librarian.
Oh yeah.
and I remember I played, and I remember like I shot a bazooka right into the wall and took somebody out, and that was just kind of fun. It was that and You Don't Know Jack we played, but I haven't really played too much Quake games other than that afterwards.
I've never really played any Quake. No, like I played Doom, pretty much all of the other games that like fell into that genre, but I never really played Quake. I think it's probably because that one never, our early days, I was definitely pure console. Like, I had I played a couple of computer games every now and then, like at school or something like that, but, for the most part, I really didn't have too much going on when it came to computers, and so I think Quake really didn't have any console love early on.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I played Doom, Duke Nukem, all that other stuff.
Yeah, I remember I played, my grandmother got me like a knockoff. It was Blake Stone, and it was kind of like Wolfenstein, Duke Nukem type game.
Nice.
But you were killing scientists. So, yeah, it was weird. So the next one, Pokemon Black and White 2 for the Nintendo DS was released on this day in Japan 8 years ago, in 2012.
Awesome.
And I liked that because it wasn't just a third installment. It was like it actually was a real sequel that took place after the main games, and even like your main character from the first game doesn't appear. He's off somewhere traveling, is what they say.
I would have liked to have at least been able to battle him at the end or something.
Yeah, and it's cool because like one of his rivals, or maybe it was his main rival, I don't know, one of the kids that you start your journey out with in the first game becomes a gym leader.
Charmin. I can't remember how you spell it, but it's like it's CHERMIN or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, that was like your main rival because you had Lily, or not Lily, but you had some chick and then him. And the ironic part is like in the original game, I think the girl wore glasses. No, the girl didn't wear glasses, and he wore glasses. But then in the sequel, she was wearing glasses and he stopped wearing glasses, or it might be vice versa, but I always just found that to be like a little funny thing.
Yeah, I really did like the Unova region. It was really cool to experience, and the fact that they didn't let you catch previous generation Pokemon until you became, until you got access to the rest of the region. That was kind of cool. They didn't do that as much with Part 2, just because, you'd already had access to those Pokemon anyway.
Yeah.
But it was kind of cool seeing the return of, like, a Poison Gym. Because I think that was the first gym. Was a Poison Gym.
Second gym. First gym was Sharn's gym, because he was like a, he was like a
Pokemon type,
teacher.
wasn't he?
Yeah. But you still, like, if you battle him later in the game, he had his regular team, I think, as well. Or if I don't remember if you battled him later in the game, or if you battled him in, like, the that tournament, the Pokemon whatever that, there was like that tournament place in one of those towns. But yeah, like he was basically like the normal type gym leader who had like the school, like he was like the Pokemon teacher, trainer, or whatever.
Yeah.
And, like he had like the youngsters and the the school kid, whatever. There's like and then the second one had the punk rock girl who had the Poison Gym. And yeah, like you said, I think that's the first time we've had a Poison Gym since G2.
Yeah, it brought cool concepts to the series, like the had flash games you can play on the website, and you can get Pokemon through the Pokemon Dream system using the Dream Balls, and so you'd be able to get. It had some cool concepts, I thought.
I tried the Dream thing out. It wasn't really for me, but it was a cool concept.
And they did have multiplayer in that game too.
Yeah, they did. Wait, did they?
Because you could go to other friends' games and go on specific routes. And I can't remember exactly what you could do because we didn't really mess with it too much.
I didn't know
but yeah, it was the Dream Link function, I think it was called, or something. It was cool though. Like,
I remember.
It wasn't too in depth. There wasn't like a lot you could do with it.
Still pretty cool though.
So the next game, 17 years ago, back in 2003, for the GameCube, Wario World came out in the North America region. I
had a lot of fond memories of this game. It's like I got it for a Christmas present or something like that, and usually I'm like, I was kind of about it, but I've always heard good things about Wario games, so this is actually the first Wario game I played. I don't count Super Mario Land 2 because that was still Mario. It was just Super Mario Land with Wario.
Super Mario Land 3.
Oh yeah, Wario. Oh right, I didn't play that one too much. It looked kind of weird, but in general, this is my first one, and it's really fun. It's like it's a short game, but it just had a lot of cool gameplay mechanics, and it's just really fun. Like if you've never played a Wario game, this is a good one to start with.
Yeah, I never played Wario World. I did play the previous installments in Mario Land, and the Game Boy. I think Wario Land. I think Wario had one where it wasn't Mario Land.
It was like Super Mario Land 3, but it was starring Wario. I can't remember it was the exact title.
Are you sure it was that? I thought.
Yeah, Wario was the main character.
I know he had different hats. And he could do different stuff depending on the hat he wore.
That was Mario Land. Yeah. Okay, let's see. 6 golden coins was when Wario took over, but I'm pretty sure Mario Land 3 was Wario Land. Like I said, I can't remember exactly how that worked, but it was something along those lines.
I know. I did play as Wario on the remake of Super Mario 64 for the 3DS.
I never actually played that game because I
never beat the original one. I actually I didn't have the N64, so I never had the Nintendo 64, so I did not beat the original Mario 64. But I did play it.
Probably rolling in his grave, even though he's not dead right now, because if you said you never played, you beat the original Super Mario 64. That is like his favorite game on the N64. He literally, real story, this dude would probably play through that game about 3 times a week. Like, I came home from school, let's play through Super Mario 64. Beat it in like 3 or 4 hours. Like, this dude was a nut when it came to that game.
Yeah. I mean, I played the original, but I never really got far because it was usually on a friend's console. But like I said, I did play it on the 3DS, and it was a really good port remake. It had Yoshi, Wario, Luigi, and Mario, and you could swap between the characters to help you solve specific puzzles and levels and whatnot. And I think they even added like a ghost themed on one of the ghost houses. I think it was linked to Luigi somehow.
Nice. So
it kind of gave it that Mario 2 kind of aspect where each character had their own specific thing. Like Luigi could jump really high
with the scoobity-doobity-doobity jump, but it's also the weakest of the four in terms of like strength and how fast you pick things up. Honestly, it was kind of funny because Mario was the worst character.
Yeah, he wasn't the worst. He was all around. He was just average.
But in that game, that was not good at all. Because if you wanted to do if you want to cheese some jumps and go get to some secret areas, you use Luigi or Peach. If you want, otherwise, you use Toad because he's like got the muscle. I don't know how Toad's so strong.
I don't know.
Mario.
I mean, I played with Mario as my character on there, and I did pretty good. It's not overly difficult game though, so it is what it is.
I mean, for a Nintendo game back in the day, it was okay. But it's really it wasn't as hard as like Mario 1.
So then 10 years ago, in 2010, moving on here, Sin and Punishment Star Successor for the Wii. I've never even heard of this game.
Yep. Okay, moving right on along because we don't know nothing about this game.
Next game is one that I do know of. This was a sequel, actually. 18 years ago, 2002, Golden Sun: The Lost Age. Or actually, no, was Lost Age the second one?
I've actually never played a Golden Sun game, so I can't say. I don't know.
Oh, you should play them. They're really good.
I know before the I think it was like right before the original Switch like completely died, or not the Switch, but like they had that program with you get like the coins or whatever, you could like get free games or something like that. So I did download Golden Sun, some version of it from the Virtual Console on the original Switch. But I don't think I played it yet. I think I also like got Zoda's Revenge. I got a lot of good RPGs for like old school. But it's just so irritating to have to go all the way, go to the Wii U, but then go to the Wii Virtual Console. Ugh, I wish I could just do it straight from the Wii U.
I will say that playing Golden Sun, it is worth going back to it. It was... So the Lost Age, I believe, is the sequel, and then there's the original one just called Golden Sun, and then they had a third one on the 3DS. It was called Dark Dawn. No, that was on the Nintendo DS, regular DS actually, because it was quite some time, like almost like 7-8 years after the second game came out on the Game Boy Advance. I think it was the Game Boy Advance. That it came out. Yeah, it was the Game Boy Advance. It was like 8 years after that second game came out that they finally were like, "Hey, let's add another game into that series." And it was just a really good series. The story was cool. I liked it at least. And you'd play through the main game, the first game, and you'd get to the end and it would leave in a cliffhanger. And then the second game came out, and it would you could use the link cable if you had two systems, and you could transfer your save data over, or they'd give you this like, I think it was like really long password.
I knew it was gonna be a
type in. And so it works similar to. Did you play Link, The Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons?
Regretfully, those are like two of the games that I heard were really good, and I wanted to play it, but I never got to play it. But I know like they had some kind of a thing where
connectability. Yeah. So it was similar to that, but way different. So when you transferred over your save data, all of the items that the main characters in the first game collected and all the levels they gained would transfer over, because you would start off and it would go based off of the other 4 characters in the game, and then eventually you would get 8 characters by the end of that game, and so they would all meet up, and then you would basically have access to the whole cast basically.
Wait, so you're saying you get, like, if you played the first game, you're basically saying you could keep your character? I just thought you meant like the stats and stuff. So you're telling me you could actually get extra characters if you played the first game?
You get to play as, well, you're gonna get those characters anyway. But if you didn't play the first game, or if you didn't transfer over your data, you're just gonna get like a default setting of those characters.
Ah, okay, I see.
And you won't get any of their gear. Like I farmed up the best gear at the end of the first Golden Sun, so I was able to transfer that stuff over as well.
I see. That's pretty cool.
There was no connectivity with the third game, but that took place years and years later, and it's kind of like Golden Sun, the next generation.
Kind of like how Pokemon G2 and G3 are just like completely blocked off by a wall.
No, it's different. It's hard to explain. It's just like I said. It's basically Golden Sun, the next generation. It's the children and whatnot of.
Well, the children can inherit their gear.
No.
Yeah.
Not in this.
Yes, they could. They could inherit
They could, but they don't.
I'm just saying that's what they could have did with the connectability. Like, so I got this note that says I should go dig in the backyard and. Da, 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 da.
No, nobody wants a 20-year-old piece of armor that was dug in the backyard.
It'll be in a chest.
Dirty.
It'll
Moldy.
be like they cleaned it first, then they put it in like a coffin type chest. I guess that's what a coffer is. Yeah, they put it in a coffer. It is brand fine. You know what? Forget it. They got all the gold pieces in it. Okay, they put all their riches in it instead, so you can go buy new armor. There you go.
Okay. I'll just agree to disagree.
Hey, they could. I'm just saying.
So the last on our list is Final Fantasy Adventure for the Game Boy. Came out 29 years ago.
AKA Secret of Mana.
AKA Secret of Mana, the original. Though a lot of us know it as Sword of Mana.
Yeah, that.
Seiken Densetsu.
I can't say that word. Yeah, we'll go with that.
And that game was like Squaresoft's answer to The Legend of Zelda, in a way. It played just like Legend of Zelda. It was on the Game Boy. The graphics, it was still like 8-bit spinach. I played it. I played it on the Super Game Boy though.
I love my Super Game Boy.
And so I got to play it with a little bit of color added to it. But they had chocobos in it. And they had some, Final Fantasy aspects to it, so they were able to get away with that.
Were they real chocobo, or were they like bird creatures
it was an actual chocobo. You rode around. They called them a chocobo.
Oh. Okay.
And I'm sure you know that the Secret of Mana series also has Moogles in there, because you can get turned into a Moogle.
And the Moogle belt, or that's like a Moogle item. I can't remember what it's called, but it's.
Now, technically, the game is supposed to be directly tied in with the next game, Secret of Mana, that came out for the Super Nintendo. The main character is supposed to be like the son, I think, of the main characters in Sword of Mana. But they don't really delve into that. Like, it doesn't really connect very well. If you look at the world map and everything, it doesn't really fit. But I think when they remade it for the Game Boy Advance, they really tried to fit that connection in there. And Sword of Mana for the Game Boy Advance is a really good remake. You get to choose between the male or female character. And the enemies level up as you level up, so you always have a way to grind. But it was like an expanded universe of that first game, basically. But I mean, it was a solid platformer. RPG adventure. You would go through and you go through the dungeons. You'd get a weapon or some sort of way to help solve the puzzles to get further in. It was a good intro to the series. It's a shame that it was called Final Fantasy, so there's a lot of confusion, of course.
Oh yeah. Oh, and while we're just on that real quick, I'm just curious about this. So, I mean, Trials of Mana, I know it is the sequel to Secret of Mana, but is there really an actual tie-in to the two games besides the obvious thing with the Mana Sword and Mana Tree and stuff like that? Actually, I don't even say have a Mana Tree. Without spoiling it, because I do plan on playing through it.
I don't think that there is. I haven't seen any connections between Trials of Mana with the first two games that I can know of. I mean,
so
it's possible that they have something as you go through it. But
so it's probably more of like a world thing.
It'd probably take place like years and years after, kind of like how the Breath of Fire series goes.
Yeah,
Breath of Fire 1, and then Breath of Fire 2 is like hundreds of years after 1, and then Breath of Fire 3 is even further after that.
Which is ironically, they always have the same characters. I thought Part 5 was the hot garbage one.
Breath of Fire 4, 5 was a dungeon crawler type game. You would, every time you started, you'd go back to base. I think you would start over at level 1, basically. It had a mystery dungeon element to it, and you just every time would just see how far you can get.
So what was wrong with 4? I know it got horrible reviews versus all the other ones, but why?
So 4 wasn't a bad game. I think my only problem with it is that the story was kind of forced, I feel. So it takes place in a different world, for one, like a totally different dimension. It seems.
I see. You've already said enough.
The main character is there. So there's two aspects of the main character. There's the Emperor, and then there's Ryu, and I think that they're like actually split from the same entity.
Oh boy!
Like, so they're different sides, but they're the same, but they're not the same. Kind of like the Squall and Laguna portion of Final Fantasy VIII.
That's still kind of confusing how they did it.
And that's not the bad part, honestly. It's the part that I didn't like is the fact that you're sitting there like, okay, every Breath of Fire game before that, they always acknowledged that Ryu was a freaking dragon. Like, you turned into a dragon. In this one, it's like there's no acknowledgement to it. It seems.
Oh, he just transforms. Oh,
he transforms. They're like, oh, okay, whatever. There's nothing. There's like, okay, whatever. Oh, you turn into a dragon? Oh, okay. Well, let's keep going. And I wasn't a fan of the dragon designs in that one either. Like the dragons that you got in there. Like, I think one was just a big giant slime blob thing.
Ugh. Okay, like, I feel you.
Those are the dragons I think you can get. Not that you could transform into, but like I think they were like kind of like summons in a way. I mean, like, I never beat the game, and maybe the story got really good after a while, but it just didn't grab me enough.
Yeah, kind of like Final Fantasy VIII. I really didn't even get invested in that story until about the end of the first disc. Like, literally not until about the time that the whole situation where you fight Adia, Eden, whatever her name is, was when I actually started like, okay, this is actually getting kind of good. But yeah, anyway, I think we've probably took it up enough time for today.
Yeah.
So everybody, thank you for joining us on this first half year in review. And thanks for listening to the Experience Points podcast. And remember,
AKA Eric and Kevin ramble.
Okay, that's cool too. Yeah, we did ramble. And don't forget to
level up.
Yeah.